Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Warriors are on a roll this season and are within the playoff zone. Signing a player with great size is a desire of the Warriors for next season. Brook Lopez is one of the Warriors' targets for next season. It's difficult to predict how the Golden State Warriors will approach free agency. Golden State has obvious needs at the center position, but the Warriors won't know how much money they have to work with until they decide whether or not to pay Jonathan Kuminga, who might demand upwards of $30 million per year. Assuming Golden State does re-sign the rising star Kuminga, who now has the perfect teammate to learn from in Jimmy Butler, the Warriors will be shopping in the bargain bin for a big guy, that is unless Quinton Post turns into Bill Walton during the upcoming playoffs. That's not a knock on Post, by the way, who is providing awesome value for the Warriors right now at less than $500,000 this season and under $2 million next season, team option. But even with Post performing above expectations, the Warriors would benefit from bringing in a veteran center this summer, particularly one who is old enough to take a team-friendly deal but not too old that he no longer adds to winning. Luckily for the Warriors, NBA champion center Brook Lopez of the Milwaukee Bucks is set to become an unrestricted free agent. Lopez turns 37 in April. His best days are behind him athletically, but he can still stretch the floor for you, grab a few boards, and serve as a big body in the paint defensively. Given his age, Lopez probably won't demand that much money for his next contract, which works out well for the Warriors. A 1- or 2-year contract that barely cuts into Golden State's cap room would be ideal for the Warriors as they look to fill out the rest of the roster. Lopez would represent another player with championship experience in Golden State's locker room. He's also on the same timeline as Butler, Stephen Curry, and Draymond Green. Warriors fans should keep a close eye on Lopez playing for Milwaukee the rest of this season. It's more than likely that Golden State GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. will be doing just that as he evaluates whether Lopez would be a good signing in July. Miami Heat legend sends Jimmy Butler warning to Golden State Warriors. There is no question that the Golden State Warriors have been a much better team since acquiring Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. On current form, they are one of the best teams in the league. Of course, the playoffs are a completely different thing altogether and it will be interesting to see how the Warriors do, if they reach the postseason. They have two of the best playoff performers in NBA in Stephen Curry and Butler. But at the same time, one cannot overlook the holes in the current Warriors roster, which might trouble them if they are handed a bad stylistic matchup. Udonis Haslem believes that the Warriors must avoid the play-in tournament and has also named the kind of players that Butler struggles against. According to Andy Lindquist of NBC Sports Bay Area, the Heat legend said on ESPN's NBA Today, "That's a tough one because you do not want to be in a play-in." Monday night, against the Denver Nuggets, was going to be a tough game for Jimmy Butler, regardless. When you talk about Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook, you're talking about guys that have size, speed, and athleticism. Those are the kinds of guys Jimmy struggles with. Smaller guards he can overpower. Bigger guys he can usually get around. Those guys that have that balance of both, those teams are ones Jimmy struggles with. Guys with switchable matchups that can guard him on the post and the perimeter. Of course, Haslem will be very aware of Butler's game, having seen him up close for so many years in Miami, first as a teammate and then as an executive. The Warriors know what it takes to make it to the mountaintop though, having done so 4 times already with Curry and Draymond Green. On the other hand, Butler carried the Heat to 2 NBA Finals during his time in Miami but was not able to get over the finish line and get a ring. So, overall, the Warriors do have a lot of guys on their roster who know how to navigate the playoffs and what to expect from it. That experience might be a major advantage for them if up against teams which have a better record but do not have that postseason know-how. Steve Kerr says Draymond Green is the best defender he's ever seen. Warriors coach says Draymond Green is the best defender he's witnessed. The Golden State Warriors have been on a tear recently, and Draymond Green has played a huge role in their success. In a recent chat with the media, Warriors coach Steve Kerr even claimed that Draymond is the best defender he's ever seen in the NBA. "He's the best defender I've ever seen," Kerr said, via Dalton Johnson. I mean, you see the pick and roll with Dame. If he's in it, he kind of does this fake blitz thing with his speed, with his anticipation. He forces Dame back out towards half court and he's able to get back. The speed and recovery with Draymond is just stunning. In the Warriors' 104-96 win over the Bucks this week, Draymond put on a defense clinic at the Chase Center, posting 3 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and 4 blocks in 36 minutes. He held Giannis Antetokounmpo to 20 points on 31.3% shooting. Then the brain that goes with it, said Kerr. If he's on the weak side, he's constantly coming over to help. He's one of the great defenders of all time, and he's still doing it at a high level. Draymond Green is arguably the best lockdown defender in the league, and it's no secret where he stands on this year's DPOY race. The combination of him and Jimmy Butler is currently the top-ranked defensive duo in the game, and they have pulled the Warriors up to the second-best defense since the All-Star break. As a 4x champion, 4x All-Star, and former Defensive Player of the Year, Draymond Green is renowned for his elite defense on the interior and out on the perimeter. He was the main catalyst behind the Warriors' dominant defense and continues to set the example for his teammates on that end of the floor. With averages of 8.7 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game for his career, Green has never been a player who will stuff the stat sheet. Instead, he makes an impact by doing all the dirty work for the Warriors, including guarding the other team's best player and acting as an enforcer for the group. While Green may not be as decorated as other defensive stars, Rudy Gobert, Kawhi Leonard, and Dikembe Mutombo, he still believes he's the best, and head coach Steve Kerr seems to agree. During his NBA career, Kerr, 5x champion, played with various defensive stars, ranging from Dennis Rodman and Scottie Pippen to Tim Duncan and David Robinson. And yet, out of his entire coaching career, Kerr says it's Draymond Green who has impressed him the most on defense. At 35 years old, Draymond is closer to the end of his career than the beginning, and his legacy is a mixed bag. On one hand, Green will always be blamed for the departures of Kevin Durant and Jordan Poole, but without his defensive expertise, the Warriors might never have reached the heights that they did during the peak of their dynasty. While Draymond Green is far from perfect, the Warriors know how important he is to their success. Gue Santos should try and mirror perfect role-player comparison for Warriors. This could be a franchise-altering development. As the Golden State Warriors have extended their hot streak following their acquisition of Jimmy Butler, an underrated aspect of their ascension has been the impact of the team's young players. Rookie center Quinton Post has immediately found a solid spot in the Warriors' rotation, and although he has had his struggle on the defensive end of the floor, he has filled a dire need for the team with his size and three-point shooting ability. Through his first 29 NBA games, Post is shooting a remarkable 41.5% from beyond the three-point line. Brandon Podziemski, in his interval between injuries, was exceptional as well in showcasing the same flashes of greatness that came across during his rookie year. Even Jonathan Kuminga, who recently returned from a long absence as a result of an ankle sprain, has immediately returned to form, playing aggressively at the rim and providing reliable and dynamic scoring to Golden State's bench. However, the intensity and playmaking of Gue Santos has had perhaps the largest impact of all the Warriors' young contributors, and his promising start in the NBA could signify his development into the type of player that all contending teams need. Gue Santos could develop into the mold of Josh Hart. As Golden State beat the New York Knicks 97-94 on Saturday night, Santos' game looked remarkably similar to a staple of the Knicks lineup, 30-year-old wing Josh Hart. The former first-round pick has consistently used his size and intensity to make up for his lack of true scoring ability, evolving into the sort of player that is integral to the Knicks' current success. Hart is averaging a league-leading 37.9 minutes a night this season, while posting 14.2 points, 9.7 rebounds, and 5.6 assists. While the Knicks have a plethora of scorers, including Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby, Hart is truly the glue of their starting unit, consistently performing at a high level and earning the trust that has been given to him by head coach Tom Thibodeau. While Santos' numbers are not on Hart's level, he averages only 4.5 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.4 assists a game, this can be partially accounted for by Santos oscillating playing opportunities as well as the usual growing pains experienced by rookies in the NBA. The simple truth is this: when Santos does get big minutes, he makes winning plays. Against the Knicks, he was given only his second start of the season, and his 7 rebounds and staunch defensive presence were a large factor in the Warriors' ability to steal a highly important game from a top team in the NBA. The 6 feet 8 inches forward also has an edge on Hart in his ability to defend multiple positions. Santos' 106.3 defensive rating far outpaces Hart's 114.5, exponentially increasing the potential for Santos to develop into the sort of major impact player that could help the Warriors maintain their status as contenders for years to come. While Santos is still a raw player in the NBA, the talent he has showed already should tremendously impress Golden State fans. With how much room he has to grow, it's very possible that Santos could be one of the team's most important players 5 years from now.